welcome to Divine Nexus Comics YouTube channel. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and enjoy the video.
This is the story of the Echo of the Eighth Era. Cold moisture drips from the ceiling of a cell carved deep into the obsidian roots of the Oros Mountains. I wake with no name, only a rhythmic thrumming beneath my skin. Silver runes, etched like living mercury, pulse in time with my heartbeat. The air is thick with the scent of ozone and ancient dust. Beyond the iron bars, the shadows are moving, not the absence of light, but something hungrier. The void rites have returned. They are ink blots on reality, tearing through the stone walls with talons made of nothingness. The guards' screams are silenced before they can even draw their blades. I feel a frantic energy surging from my forearms, the silver marks glowing. Blindingly bright, my instinct screams for survival, and as I reach out, the very air in front of me ripples like a disturbed pond. The heavy iron bars of my cage don't just break. They dissolve into a cloud of shimmering blue butterflies. I step out into the corridor, my bare feet treading on cold stone. The void rites pause, their eyeless faces turning toward me. They don't see a prisoner. They see a threat or a meal. As one lunges, I raise my hand, and the memory of fire flashes through my mind. Suddenly, the creature isn't being burned. It is being rewritten. It turns into a pillar of solid gold, crashing to the floor with a heavy thud. The power is intoxicating, but as the golden statue settles, a strange chill washes over me. A memory of a face, a mother, a sister, flickers and vanishes into a void of its own. The exit from the subterranean prison leads to a ledge overlooking the continent of Oros. It is a world of impossible contrasts. Jagged obsidian peaks that pierce the purple clouds and marshlands below that glow with a haunting, neon green bioluminescence. Above it all, suspended in the sky like a dying sun, is the loom of Ether. It is a colossal machine of brass and starlight, its gears grinding with a sound that vibrates in the marrow of my bones. But the gears are slipping. Great arcs of white energy leak from its frame, lashing the sky. I am not alone on the ledge. A woman in tattered scholar's robes, her eyes wide with terror and awe, points a shaking finger. At me, the missing verses, she whispers. You are the vessel the Seekers have prayed for. She tells me her name is Keleth, a member of the Circle of Seekers. She explains that the world is unraveling because the Star Scribe's masterwork is failing. The void is no longer a myth. It is the inevitable end of all things unless the loom is mended. She reaches out to touch the runes on my arm, but her hand stops inches away, repelled by a static charge. The High Elven Magocracy wants you dead, or worse, sacrificed to the machine, she warns. They believe only a soul marked by the scribes can bridge the gap. But the beast folk rebels, the iron-bound, they want to shatter the loom entirely. They think the machine is a cage that stole the world's true voice. I look up at the flickering sky, the weight of a world I don't remember resting on my silver-etched shoulders. The High Exarch Valerius does not wait for fate to find him. As Keleth speaks, the sky turns white. A fleet of solar skiffs, elegant vessels crafted from ivory and light, descends from the clouds. The High Elven Magocracy has arrived. At the prow of the lead ship stands Valerius himself, his golden armor reflecting the dying light of the loom. He looks down at me not with hatred, but with the cold, clinical gaze of a craftsman looking at a necessary tool. The vessel is found, Valerius announces, his voice amplified by magic to shake the very mountains. Citizens of Oros, rejoice. The sacrifice that will secure another 3,000 years of stability is within our grasp. Bring him to the spire. Let the cleansing of the Ether begin. He raises his staff, and a beam of concentrated starlight strikes the ground at my feet, turning the obsidian to molten glass. He isn't trying to kill me. He's hurting me. I realize then that to Valerius, I am not a person. I am a spare part for a broken engine. Keleth pulls a small, jagged crystal from her belt and smashes it on the ground. A cloud of thick, obscuring smoke erupts, smelling of sulfur and wet earth. Run. She commands. We leap from the ledge, sliding down the treacherous obsidian slopes as the solar beams of the Magocracy sear the air behind us. Every step away from the prison is a step into a war I never asked to fight. We find refuge in the bioluminescent marshes, a humid labyrinth of towering fungal trees and glowing vines. Here, the air is thick with the scent of damp earth and rot. From the shadows emerge the iron-bound beast folk warriors with the heads of wolves and bulls, clad in rusted iron plates. Their leader, a massive minotaur named Brack, looms over me. His axe is as wide as my chest, and his eyes burn with a deep-seated resentment for the Sky Dwellers. The Magocracy wants to feed you to their god machine, Brack rumbles, his voice like grinding stones. But we know the truth. Before the loom, magic was wild. It was ours. The Star Scribes didn't save the world. They domesticated it. They turned us into servants of their order. We don't want the loom fixed. We want it dead. We want the world to bleed magic once more, even if it burns. Keleth argues that the void will consume everything if the loom falls, but Brack only laughs. Better to die free than live in a clockwork cage. I stand between them, the scholar who wants to preserve the status quo and the rebel who wants to burn it all down. My runes begin to hum again, reacting to the raw, untamed magic of the marsh. I feel the power to edit the world ditching under my skin. I could turn Brack's axe to wood or Keleth's books to birds, but what would I lose next? I realize I can no longer remember the color of my childhood home. The Magocracy's trackers find us at dawn, not with ships this time, but with other hounds, mechanical beasts of brass and blue flame. They tear through the marsh, their mechanical howling echoing off the mountains. Brack's warriors engage them in a brutal melee, iron clashing against enchanted bronze. I see a young beast folk soldier, a fox-skin barely older than a child, cornered by two of the hounds. His spear is broken, and death is seconds away. I don't think, I act. I reach toward the hounds and envision them as something harmless. My runes flare with a blinding silver light. The mechanical beasts don't just stop. They liquefy, turning into puddles of sweet-smelling honey. The fox-skin looks at me with wide, grateful eyes. "Thank you," he gasps. "I'll never forget this, stranger." But even as he speaks, the magic takes its toll. I feel a sharp, stabbing pain in my temple. I look at the fox-skin, and I see his expression shift from gratitude to confusion. Who are you?" he asks, stepping back. "Where did the hounds go?" The memory of my intervention has been scrubbed from his mind. To him, I am just a man standing in a swamp near some spilled honey. The cost of editing reality is my own existence in the hearts of others. I am becoming a ghost in my own story. Keleth leads me to a hidden canyon where the stone is not obsidian but a strange, translucent white marble. Here lie the ruins of a Star Scribe observatory, a place that predates the current gods of Oros. The walls are covered in the same runes that mark my skin. As I walk through the halls, the runes on the walls begin to glow in symphony with mine. I am not just a vessel. I am a living blueprint. The loom wasn't built to stop the void, I mutter, the knowledge flowing into me from the stones. It was built to filter it. I see visions of the Star Scribes weaving the chaotic energy of the planes into the fabric of Oros. The loom is a prism, turning the raw void stuff into the ether that fuels all. Magic. The Magocracy has been using it wrong, and the beast folk are only half right. If the loom is destroyed, the world dissolves into chaos. If it's sacrificed too, it stays a stagnant prison. There is a third way, Keleth whispers, reading the translations on the walls. The missing verses your runes they allow for a rewrite of the loom's core logic. You can change what the machine does, but to reach the core, you'll have to face Valerius at the Spire of Stars. I look at my hands. They are becoming translucent at the edges. How much of me is left to finish this? I have forgotten my own name, my favorite food, the sound of my own voice in my head. The Spire of Stars is a needle of white stone that pierces the very center of the loom of ether. We arrive as the sky is beginning to tear open. Black fractures like cracked glass appear in the firmament, and the howling of the void rites fills the air. Valerius stands at the apex, surrounded by a circle of high elven mages. They are chanting, their voices weaving a cage of light around the central core of the loom. "You are late, vessel," Valerius shouts over the roar of the wind. "The loom is at its breaking point. Step into the light and fulfill your purpose. Your life for the world a fair trade." He gestures to the swirling vortex of energy at the center of the machine. It is a beautiful, terrifying storm of starlight and shadow. I can feel the missing verses on my skin screaming to be joined with their source. Brack and his iron-bound warriors charge the base of the spire, a desperate distraction to give me a path. They fall by the dozens to the Magocracy's spells. I see Brack take a bolt of energy to the shoulder and keep moving, his roar echoing through the chaos. I realize that if I succeed, Brack will forget I ever stood beside him. Keleth will forget she saved me. I will be the savior of a world that doesn't know I exist. I reach the summit. Valerius blocks my path, his staff glowing with the power of a captured star. "I cannot let you hesitate," he says, his face a mask of zealotry. "The world must be ordered. It must be preserved." He lunges, his movements a blur of elven grace. We clash at the edge of the world, his starlight against my raw reality warping power. Every time our energies meet, the stone beneath us turns to glass, then to sand, then to water. "You are a fool," I scream, though I don't know who is saying it anymore. "You're holding on to a cage while the bird is dying inside." I catch his staff in my bare hand. The silver runes flare, and I edit the staff into a simple branch of rowan wood. Valerius staggers back, his eyes widening in genuine fear. He has never seen magic that doesn't follow the rules of the loom. I push past him toward the core. The void is pouring through the ceiling now, ink-like tentacles. Reaching for the gears, I can feel the loom's hunger for a vessel, its need for a soul to stabilize its rhythm. Valerius recovers and prepares a final, desperate spell, but the void rites descend upon him, sensing his immense magical power. He is dragged into the shadows, screaming for an order that no longer exists. I stand before the core of the loom. It is a sphere of pure possibility, the heart of the 8th Thera. I can feel the missing verses on my skin vibrating so hard they begin to bleed silver light. I have two choices. I can feed myself to the machine, mending the loom as it was, preserving the Magocracy's order and the beast folks. Subjugation. Or I can use the verses to rewrite the loom entirely. I choose the rewrite. I envision a world where the loom isn't a cage or a filter, but a bridge. A world where magic belongs to everyone, where the void is not an enemy to be feared but a frontier to be understood. I place my hands on the core. The pain is absolute. It feels like every cell in my body is being pulled through a needle's eye. My memories are the fuel for the change. I see the face of the fox skin gone. I see Keleth's smile gone. I see the moment I woke up in the cell gone. I am erasing myself from the timeline to create a better one. The silver runes leave my skin and flow into the machine, the missing verses finally being spoken aloud by the heart of the world. The brass gears turn to living vine and crystal, and the black cracks in the sky begin to heal with golden light. The light fades. The air is still and sweet, no longer smelling of ozone and metal. I am standing in a lush meadow at the base of the Oros Mountains. The obsidian peaks are now covered in green grass and wildflowers. The loom is gone, replaced by a gentle, shimmering aurora that dances in the sky, providing a soft, natural magic too. All who breathe it in. I see Brack and the Iron-bound nearby, looking at their hands in wonder as small sparks of natural magic dance between their fingers. They are laughing, free of the Magocracy's yoke. I see Keleth, her scholar's robes now clean and white, holding a book and looking at the aurora with a peaceful smile. She looks right at me, her eyes passing over me as if I am just a shadow among the trees. Beautiful, isn't it? She says to a fellow seeker, never realizing that the man standing 10 feet away is the one who saved her life. I try to speak, but I have no name to give her. I have no story to tell. I am the echo of the 8th era, the man who saved the world and was forgotten by it. I turn and walk toward the horizon, a stranger in a paradise of my own making. My skin is clear, the runes are gone, and for the first time, my breath is my own.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this story. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe for more content, and until next time, stay super.